On this edition of MC Gen Chem, Heat of Reaction. Reactions are controlled by their heat capacity, which is the amount of heat required to change the temperature of a substance. This can be determined by the equation C equals Q over delta T, where capital C is the heat capacity, Q is the heat applied to the substance, and delta T is the change in temperature. To determine Q, we use the equation Q equals mc delta T, where m is the mass of the substance, lowercase c is the specific heat capacity, and delta T is the change in temperature. Reactions either involve the absorption of energy or the release of energy. In this case, the energy being absorbed or released is in the form of heat. When energy is being absorbed, this is called an endothermic reaction. This is like an ice cube melting after being exposed to high temperatures. When energy is being released, this is called an exothermic reaction. This is like a candle or fire burning and putting off light and heat. We determine whether a reaction is endothermic or exothermic by using a calorimeter. A calorimeter is an isolated system or container like a coffee thermos. When a reaction in a calorimeter is carried out at constant pressure, we can determine the change in enthalpy, which is just another word for heat. The first law of thermodynamics states that energy of an isolated system remains constant. Using this information, we can determine the total change in enthalpy of this reaction by adding the heat released by the solution and the heat absorbed by the calorimeter. A practice problem will follow after this. For this experiment, you will need graduated cylinders, an acid, a base, 2 small pieces of cardboard with one having a small hole in the top, a thermometer, 2 styrofoam cups, and of course, don't forget your goggles. To begin, carefully measure approximately 50 milliliters of the acid in a graduated cylinder. Remember to measure the acid according to the meniscus, and always remember to record the amount in your notebook to the correct amount of significant digits. Carefully transfer the acid into the coffee cups that are placed on top of a piece of cardboard. Place the cardboard with the hole on top of the styrofoam cups. Next, carefully measure approximately 50 milliliters of the base. Remember to measure according to the meniscus and record in your notebook using the correct significant digits. Take the temperature of the base while it is still in the graduated cylinder. Remember to completely submerge the bulb into the base and be careful not to touch the thermometer to the sides of the cylinder. Record the temperature using the correct significant digits. Once you have successfully recorded the temperature of the base, make sure to properly clean the thermometer using DI water and dry using a chem wipe. Next, measure the temperature of the acid. Make sure to completely submerge the thermometer bulb in the acid and try not to touch the thermometer to the sides of the cup. Record the temperature using the correct significant digits. Very carefully, lift the piece of cardboard and quickly add the base to the cups with the acid. The reaction will begin. To help the reaction along, very carefully stir using the thermometer. Watch the thermometer and record the maximum temperature that is reached. Don't forget your significant digits.